It was a town erased from time, shrouded in an unnatural fog that whispered secrets no living soul should ever hear. Maps bore no trace of it, and those who sought it vanished without a whisper. The place wasn't just forgotten, it had been abandoned by existence itself. Emma, Lucas, Jared, and Mia were thrill seekers who thrived on testing their courage. But courage meant nothing here. As they passed the first cracked road sign, the temperature dropped sharply, the air thick with decay. The fog moved unnaturally, twisting in spirals as though it were alive, breathing, watching. "Do you feel that?" Mia asked, her voice barely audible. A crushing silence followed, heavier than the mist itself. There was no wind, no rustling leaves. Not even the sound of their footsteps seemed to echo. Then came the first whisper. "Turn back." It was soft, distant, yet impossibly close. They froze. The whisper came again, this time louder, layered with countless voices all speaking in unison. "You are not welcome here." Emma turned her flashlight toward the trees, but the beam seemed to dissolve in the fog. She thought she saw movement, shapes shifting in the shadows, but when she focused, there was nothing. Then Lucas gasped. His flashlight flickered and illuminated a figure standing mere feet away. It was grotesque, a humanoid shape, its skin stretched tight over sharp, angular bones, its head tilted unnaturally to one side, and its mouth stretched into an impossible grin, revealing rows of jagged, broken teeth. Lucas stumbled back. "Did you see that?" "There's nothing there," Jared said, but his voice trembled. The whispers grew louder, turning into a cacophony of disjointed words and sobs. "Run. Stay. We see you," suddenly Emma screamed. "Something's in my ear." She clawed at the side of her head, her nails drawing blood, but nothing was there. Her eyes widened as she began to sob uncontrollably. "They're inside me. They're whispering inside my head," she shrieked, her voice cracking. Before anyone could react, the ground beneath them shifted. It wasn't an earthquake. The dirt itself seemed to pulse, alive, as if something massive and unseen writhed beneath their feet. Jared's flashlight revealed fissures, opening in the ground, oozing a black tar-like substance that smelled of rot and death. And then, the figures emerged. They weren't human, not anymore. Hollow, twisted mockeries of people, their faces featureless except for empty black voids where their eyes should have been. They moved in jerky, unnatural motions, limbs bending in impossible ways. Lucas screamed as one of them reached out with clawed hands, its fingers sinking into his arm like liquid shadow. His flesh bubbled and blackened at its touch, and he fell to his knees, crying out in agony, "No, no, no!" Mia turned to run, but the fog thickened, forming a solid wall around her. She turned back to the others, but they were already disappearing into the black. In the distance, Emma's voice echoed, warped and distorted. "They've taken me! Don't follow! Don't follow!" Mia and Jared stumbled blindly through the fog until they reached the town square. The well at its center was ancient, its stones slick with a substance that dripped upward into the sky. From the well came the whispers, louder now, each one a scream in disguise. Jared stepped forward, his face pale. I hear them." Mia grabbed his arm. "Don't listen, don't..." But it was too late. Jared turned to her, his eyes black and hollow. A scream rose in Mia's throat, but no sound came out. Jared opened his mouth, impossibly wide, and from the darkness within, dozens of hands emerged, clawing at Mia, pulling her into the void. Lucas, the last one standing, stared into the well. The mist parted, and he saw something impossible. A mass of writhing, endless faces. They were screaming silently, their expressions frozen in terror. As he stared, the faces turned to look at him, and then he realized they were the faces of the missing, of everyone who had entered this town. And his friends were there now, their mouths moving in soundless pleas for mercy. The last thing Lucas heard before the darkness claimed him was a single deafening whisper. "You belong to us now." When search parties arrived weeks later, the town was gone. The forest had reclaimed it, leaving no trace of buildings, roads, or even the well. All they found was a single camera lying in the dirt. The footage showed only fog, but in the final seconds, a face appeared, smooth, blank, and staring directly at the lens. It whispered two words: "Join us. Join us."